Welcome. My name is Shane Blankenship, and in this video I'm going to talk about what we teach and what you'll learn here at Language of Markets. Now, before we get started, let me first say that trading, just like life, is often very difficult. There's no promises of wealth. We are having to make real-time decisions in an always moving, ever-changing, uncontrollable, uncertain environment. And just like life, we don't always or usually do it perfectly. That said, trading is a skill that can be developed by anybody willing to reach for it. On a good note, this is something that will continually challenge us to always be learning and growing personally. So how do we learn this skill? So what I've done is broken things down into learnable steps and process. Now this will apply to any market, any time frame. As you can see, all markets move in swings. You can look at any market and see that. And these swings have identifiable components, and they will move in a process we can follow and that we can learn. Now the first thing you're going to learn here, these are the technical lessons, how to independently structure and read any market, to be able to follow the facts instead of opinions, hopes, fears, right? You'll always have something to check against. This is the language of price. You'll learn how to take any flow of data and begin to structure it, like in this chart. There'll be objective definitions. Definition of a swing, a new high, creates a swing low. There'll be definitions of the components that move in process. This will be what you're learning, right? All of the price action components that have to do with price action. How to identify a swing and the phases of that swing. And next, you'll learn to form up what we've structured in price action into functional methods for consistent trading. Now, you will be learning several methods, but the first and main method you'll be learning to apply will be a wash and rinse setup. A wash and rinse that will happen in one of the zones of the swing. So all you need to know, and we learn this in the technical lessons, is how to distinguish a wash and rinse and a swing. So you see here in this chart we've structured this in steps, right? First the swing, the zones, and now you can start to make the distinction of a wash and rinse. This is what we'll learn. And this is basically a shakeout after an initial excitement. So just looking at this simple chart, you should be able to identify that, right, these have some very similar qualities that can be taught in steps and process, that can be learned, that can be distinguished. Now a method is only part of the whole show. So here you learn how to identify the components of price action, how to map a market. Then we structure that into a method of trading. And then here we're going to learn to put it all together into a precise trade plan for entry, management, exit, and review. You will know all these things ahead of time going in, so that way you're not having to make decisions on the fly while you're emotionally heightened. With a precise trade plan, we have a baseline also for learning. If we just do things randomly, being drug around by our emotions, then it's hard for any learning to take place. And you learn how to review the whole thing. It's where we take and we start to ground into our experience all that we have learned, right? What is it like doing it real time? And next, I do a lot of lessons on how to practice so that real learning takes place in your own grounded experience, bridging the gap between theory and practice. It does no good to just read, watch videos, think about it. We have to learn these things in our own experience. Now, all of this goes a long way to changing our experience of trading from being fearful, feel like we're guessing, to, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I wasn't guessing. Now, okay, I leaned a little too far that way. Now I can lean this way, right? We learn to conserve our mental energy. And so there's a lot of discussion on self-management in here. We have no control over markets, but we can control how we approach them, right? That's what we do have control over. So that's a synopsis of what you'll learn here: how to map, identify, read any market, form that up into structured functional methods, put it all together in a trade plan, and review, practice learning and grounding it, and work on changing of how we experience trading. Now, this is all taught in our live interactive sessions, which are a mix of technical lessons, planning, all of this that we've talked about, questions from members, and working with live markets, depending on whatever's going on at the time. So let's take just what we've learned here about mapping a market and apply it to something going on right now. So what you see here, this is my basic trading screen, and as you see, we work with small time frame futures, currencies, stocks, all of the above during our live sessions. So let's just have a look at this particular stock, and we can easily begin to map it and see its swing, understand its process, and even map out a few individual structures. And you begin to see things that are distinct that maybe you didn't see before, right? This initial excitement, that kind of thing. So we'll just follow this market along. It's basically mapped. It's making higher highs and higher lows. It has a minor swing right here, and the minor swings are making higher highs and higher lows. So you can see that right now these minors are about the same size. Okay, and then we have our major. Okay, to wrap up, let me just add that there will be bumps and bruises along the way to learning and applying what's learned. But we do try to have a little fun along the way, and we have a great community of traders here that help each other, respectful of each other. It's one of the reasons I continue to teach. The other is that it improves my own trading. So that's it. I appreciate you taking the time to look at this video, and if you have any questions, just email.